Good morning, good morning. Stocks go up, stocks go down. Interesting. Uh, Markets up today on the China news. Kind of crazy. Have no idea what this means. Don't know what's real. So China, the chancellor says they're going to approve the BioNTech vaccine. It's like Moderna. It's the Pfizer one. They're going to approve that in China for foreigners. What does that mean? Just for foreign residents? But not for Chinese individuals? So I'm just making up numbers. Say there was 1 million people in China and they have, 15 or 20% foreigners, so only those 20% of the people are eligible to get it? I have no idea what this means. But they like BioNTech's up 10. They like Moderna up 5 because they think Moderna is next. And some people getting the vaccine is better than none, so that's net positive. That takes the China stocks up, taking the market up. But we have jobs, and does the jobs come in high? So here's the thing. I think people are still hiring today because you got Christmas. People don't necessarily lay off before Christmas unless you're Elon and you want everybody to feel like shit. So Elon's laying everybody off at Twitter. So here's something very interesting about Twitter. And is it because Sam is just smarter than everybody else? You guys can feel free to answer this here. So very, very interesting. So Elon, they say they're going to close this deal on whatever date it was, the 26th or 29th or whatever, right? That was last Friday or whatever, right? They're going to close the deal. But he has to, all these people get all these bonuses and their restricted stock units and the grants are all coming out, right? If you're Twitter, why wouldn't you say the closing is going to be after that date? So all that stuff's already been given to people. Isn't that interesting? Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you just let them dictate a date where you can not give people bonuses and everything else? Isn't that interesting? Is this just because Sam is just smarter than everybody else? I mean, you just wait another 3 days and you don't have that problem? Interesting. Lots of people are letting people go, yes. We absolutely know that. But a lot of them are getting severance. So Stripe, I believe the payment processor, laid off a bunch of people, thousands, and they gave them 14 weeks. So 14 weeks, and it didn't matter. I mean, when I was with TI and stuff, we used to do 2 weeks for every year you were there. But so this one went to 14 weeks, so that's 4 months, somewhere in there. So that takes you into January. But here's the thing. If you get 14-week severance, you're not a layoff. You're not considered unemployed, okay? You're still getting paid. They just keep paying your paycheck as normal, okay? Now, I don't care. You can argue with me on this all you want, but I'm just telling you how TI did it. I have no idea how anybody else does it. Maybe they give you lump sum. I don't know, okay? And then you can go collect from there. I don't think the company is going to pay your unemployment before that 14 weeks is over. And if you got 20 weeks or 30 weeks, etc. Okay? You want to watch the big boys. If the big boys, do they get worse? Amazon was weak. Microsoft was weak. Apple, way down. Team, TEAM. Miguel's not here again today. Team, way down. TEAM. They have a subscription system, way down. That implies snow, could be way down. NET was down. Implies all the cybers are down. Twilio getting racked, destroyed, crushed. Caterpillar up. Caterpillar better. But we were in the 125s or 225s, but we sold those even, so you wouldn't have got there. Interesting. Boeing was better yesterday. That's a positive because it takes SPX higher. but MDB is collapsing all the way down. So all the techs are getting beat up. All the techs are getting beat up. Then we see. Interesting plays for next week. If you want to do them, I don't think we're going to do them, but see. Netflix started their ad stuff. So do we get some type of indication from them? They say, oh, we had 1 million sign-ups, or we had 2 million sign-ups, or do they give us some information next week? Very possible, one way or the other. And is it better than expected or worse? To me, I think, who the hell is watching commercials? It just fascinates me. What do you want to do, honey? I want to watch commercials. Okay, nice. Can we watch commercials on good steakhouses because we can't afford to go there? Really? I mean, really? What the hell? How about the voice? The voice is good. Okay, interesting. So then we see. NOW is a big tell. Why is NOW a big tell? Because NOW had great numbers, 99% renewals, because it's a subscription-based system. 99%, it's really good. Okay? But it traded at 325 and it's 381. So that's 45 points down. It's down 45 points after killing earnings. So what's that tell you? Okay, Amazon Web Services starting to lay off huge. Oracle Cloud laying off. Okay? Now Stripe is laying off. Tons of companies are laying off. But I think these numbers aren't what we see till after Christmas. Okay, so just know that. So what happens today? If we come in at 100,000 jobs or less, probably rip. If we come in at 300,000, probably cave. But there's another thing that's very interesting, and I was telling some people that, and I posted in the room, and nobody has an answer. And these guys that ask Powell questions, they don't even ask him the right question because they're not smart. Here's the question. You have 2 unemployment reports and 2 CPI reports coming. If the CPI comes in at, let's just say 6%, just making up numbers, this time, or let's say it comes in at 5%, way better, 5% this time, and the next time it comes in at 5.5. Is that bad? Which number matters? If the jobs report comes in today at 100,000, it's great, but in December it goes to 200,000. So that means it's bad. What number matters? See, this stuff, nothing is as simple as you think. And people are trying to simplify this stuff, and they just don't know. And he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Isn't that interesting? Okay? So this comes at 7:30, so it's going to happen. Then we see. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for that. Banks moving up today. Goldman Sachs is up 4 plus, maybe 6. If Goldman Sachs is up 4, 5, 6, hard for the market to go way low. It can go down, but not way low. Okay? Then we see. Look at cat taking off. Deer look really, really good. Apple was down at 138. It looks like they're starting to lay off now. Not like, I don't know if they said layoffs or stopped hiring. Okay, whatever that means. Okay? So keep an eye on that. Think about that. But just know this. And Mike Wilson, the guy that predicted this whole thing, he came out yesterday and he said if 36.50 breaks on the downside, the whole rally is over. You won't get a Christmas rally, and 29.50 comes, maybe by the front of the year. Wow, 29.50. Now he isn't wrong because what he's saying is something different. He's saying if the market, if we break down, earnings start getting worse, that means Amazon Web Services is going to miss. That means Tesla is going to miss. That means now, next time may miss. That means Snow may miss. So what he's saying is, if we do go into a recession, all the earnings get worse. If the earnings get worse, why would you think the market gets better? See, that's his thesis. And probably I would probably agree with it. Your stuff doesn't get better if the economy gets worse, right? That's what we know. That's what we know. And I would agree. I would agree. I would agree. I would agree. But and the last thing here before we get started is the lesson from 2001 and 2008 are when these things break, they go way lower and they don't come back for a long time. It's very conceivable if Apple were to break and go down, and it goes down to 120, 125, that you don't see 170 again for a couple years. Very conceivable. Okay? So if you get caught and you're in these things, like Tesla, do you really believe Tesla goes back to 300 next year? Or maybe it takes 3 years. Or maybe it takes 5 years. I don't know. Okay? Maybe it goes next year. But in theory, when these things break, they don't come back immediately. I mean, I really think Microsoft doesn't hit 350 again for at least 5 years. I don't think it's going to go. The growth isn't there. If cloud is slowing down, you just can't raise prices and go that high. Okay? So that's what we know. That's what we know. To me, 300,000 is the bogey today. Anything over that is bad. I think they're looking for 150. Even 200. I don't think 200 is bad enough because you have another jobs report coming. 300, I think, would move the target. Or if it comes in at even, then we really rip back up. Okay? So that's what I think happened today. Very nice week because we had Amazon, tons of Amazon puts. You got to trade them. We bought these Amazon 87s yesterday at 12 cents. They went to 50 cents. 12 cents to 50 cents. Now they're going to open probably at 12 cents again. Now, as of this instant. Now, if SPX rips lower and Amazon breaks, then this could go to 85, 83. Way lower, way lower. Okay? People seem to believe that you can buy way out of the money now. You can't do that. This is the problem that got Sam way back in 2001. You got to be closer to the money, and you got to trade them. So we sold Microsoft yesterday, 33 cents to almost $2. They went to 240. 33 cents. Got to trade them. Why? Because if the market goes up today and Microsoft goes up, your $2 goes to zero. Got to trade them. In, out, in, out, in, out. Okay? But nothing is getting better. Everything is getting worse. And think about cars and everything else. So somebody, let's say you're buying a car and you're buying a Tesla at 80 grand and you're going to finance that Tesla at 3% or 2%. Now you're financing it at 8%. Do you still buy that car? I mean, in general, you know, it really fascinates me, salesmen. Salesmen are very unique. They're like, oh my God, don't worry about it. Oh, how much you want to pay? Well, I can only afford to pay $400. Okay, we're going to give you a 15-year car loan. Your payment's $400. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Really? Who the hell is buying cars at 6-year, 7-year, 8-year, 10-year loans? I mean, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Or with people? Really? It just doesn't make any sense. Okay? And then there's the next part. The houses have gone way up, right? Houses have gone way up. This is very interesting. So say you bought a house and it went from $1 million to $4 million. And you're not in California. California, they don't raise your taxes. But you're in other places. Say you're in Texas. And they take your taxes up huge. I mean, you're now paying triple taxes from $1 million to $4 million. You're paying 3 times as much taxes. And then next year, the market goes to shit, and those houses get cut in half. First of all, is the appraisal district's going to cut the house valuation in half? Probably not. They're not going to. You're going to have to go appeal it. And then will it get done? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. To get your taxes down. Okay? But then if the taxes all come down, do all these cities and all these places have money problems? Okay? So this is a really vicious cycle that's starting here. And this vicious cycle doesn't get better. in 3 or 6 months. It just doesn't. And everybody keeps telling, oh my God, this is 6 months. I mean, think about Lisa Su. She's like, oh, our data center was good, so we're going to be flat this quarter, AMD. Instead of just saying, our business has really fallen off a cliff. We did okay in data center, so it's going to be flat. And then Kramer, who has a crush on everybody, he doesn't ask the simple question. Is it going to be better next year, or is it going to take a year or two to get better? Doesn't ask the question. Doesn't ask the question. Interesting, right? So know that. Now, Meta, back to Meta, and I told you this the other day. As soon as they posted it, I said right away, who is this FCC clown? He doesn't have the ability to have any influence on Meta. Oh, and people took the stock up from 92.50 to 97.5. People got slaughtered and right back down under 90. So know that all these pops are mostly bogus because it's on bogus news, guys. Okay, bogus news. Okay, then we see. Somebody told me, I forget who told me, but they said 11:15, very interesting day in Taiwan. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that for bad happenings. I don't know. I don't know what's real. So just keep an eye on that. Okay, so that's what we know. Okay, let's get started. Good morning, everybody. 11:04. Stocks go up, stocks go down. SPX up nicely to start with, but basically energy, oil is way up, right? Oil is up 3.5, almost back to $100. Okay, my gas, I don't put gas in a lot because I don't drive a lot, but I put in gas yesterday. It's back to 360. 360 in Dallas. Everybody's like, oh, say I'm bitching about 360. No, it was 260 3-4 weeks ago. So it's up $1. So interesting. So SPX is up on that, and it's up on the BioNTech news, and then we see. But it's all about what happens here. And if we get 300,000 jobs, we're going to tank. And if 3650 breaks, you have a cavern lower, way lower. All these things drop. Then we see. Okay? You can trade to the upside. You can trade to the downside. You got to get in. You got to get out. Can't hold stuff a long time. And you got to go slow. You got to go slow. I mean, I understand the whole betting concept. I do betting. I've done it for years and years. If you have a $10,000 account and you lose 3 bets in a row, you immediately triple up your next bet or fourth bet, and you go to shit. You just do. Don't do that with stocks. Go slow. Look at the news and see. Then we see. Okay? SPX up 26. That puts it at 3650, somewhere around there. 3750, 3752, 3782. Underneath 3700 bad. 3652, 3640 is a big number. 3640. Okay? Then way lower if it breaks. CMG went to complete shit, right? I told you. Look, when these guys make shit up, like, oh, everything is bad, our food prices are going up, our food prices are terrible, I can't believe it. We raised prices and made more money, and our margin is better. We made more money, our margin is better, and you're bitching about food prices. And the stock goes down 250 because people understand you're just lying to them. NVIDIA, yesterday 129, all the chips look better today. 139, up 141, underneath 129, 121. Apple, it was at 137.70 last night. 137.70. If the market reverses on jobs, this thing can crumble. Okay? Lam Research, 403, 409. Caterpillar, moving. 226, 232. Roku. What the hell is that? She just buys garbage. She did this last time at 90, took it to 109 that day on bad earnings, and now it's 50. I mean, who knows? there's lobotomies for a reason. Okay. Goldman Sachs, 354, 356, underneath 348. MDB, looking to break, 149, 132. Snowman, 146, right back to this 146 number. If it breaks, it was 143 last night. 139, 131. Boeing, stronger, moved well yesterday. 161, 166. Acting a little bit better. Regeneron. The numbers were great. It didn't move. They have a conference coming up, but Regeneron, mark this on your calendar, February. I don't know the exact date. I think it was the 9th. Not positive. That's when the stock moved up 100 points on that EYLEA news, putting it out for another reason, being approved for another reason, EYLEA, the drug, macular degeneration drug. That can really take off in February. If it's approved, it's 900. Okay? So Freeman's going to go nuts, but don't know the exact date, but there's a date out there. I forget. Netflix, the news coming next week on how many people subscribe, so keep an eye on that, but it couldn't hold 300. NOW, super, super strong, lost 45. It's a big tell. Tesla, trying to get better. It's in no man's land. You can't trade the thing. You can take it for 10 cents. That's it. Moderna, does it run also with BNTX? Possible BNTX. Down a little bit, don't know anything about that. Amazon, 88, 86, 83. Wow. Wow. 87 is up. Microsoft, 213, 209. First Solar, very strong, held this stock, very strong. Enphase, 303. That's what we know, that's what we know, that's what we know. Let's see what happens. TEAM getting destroyed, 121. Twilio getting destroyed, 50. Wow. Interesting. Let's see what happens. Does SPX collapse? Don't think it's very good. Then we see. Everybody have a great trading day. See you in chat.